Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We are in the middle of a war with Britain, so let's get down to it. We're doing our best to invade the home counties. We're doing our best to invade our war goal, the capital of British Congo, and we are moving forward there, so that's good. We're suffering a little bit of blockading. Should be a minor issue. Again, we got a hold of some territories, but not the perfect one here. But, you know, it's a process. Who's invading me? Batu Santange. Okay, alright, so I'm going to need to keep an eye on that. Now, we are continuing to move forward here. This landing should complete if we're able to be successful in this battle specifically. That'll get us hold over the British capital. And that will be beautiful. Now, there is a front up here in the territory in Hanover that we've occupied. So I'm going to put this army there to deal with that. And then... Alright, we've developed a front in Britain. So let's go ahead and grab the army of southern France to hold and reinforce that front and to push it forward. And this should allow us to get everything we need, because at this point... Oh, this army needs to be on advance now. Haha! I'm so good at things. Yeah, I want offense better than... more than anything else. Over there. Alright, and we are fighting a battle. Only one, it seems. Cape Colony is in default, which is fine. Yep, that's a win for us. We've got overwhelming strategic superiority there. Let's go ahead and put this army on the coast of Poitou Saintonge to deal with that. I'm going to move the army of northern France to northern France. A decision which will shock you. Alright, and we are also moving forward in East Anglia. So as we get more and more occupation in Britain proper, we're going to rapidly decay Britain's war support. And that is going to get this war done really fast, I'm hoping. That'll get this war done pretty dang quick. West Country is almost nearly occupied. East Anglia is fully occupied now. Oh, nope, not quite. It's getting there. It's getting there. Whoa, look at all those battalions. Oh, man. That's a naval invasion force, my nerds. We are actually losing over here in the West County, but we're winning in East Anglia. And difference in number of battalions devoted to each zone, I think, is the primary issue there. As you can see, Great Britain is already losing war support significantly. And without their capital held, they don't have war support protection anymore, which means this war is... they are not able to win this war, basically. Behind bars, the arrest and alleged ill treatment of a disorderly protester affiliated with the Confucian Rights Movement has sparked resentment among his compatriots. Further demonstrations have been arranged, urging his release. Prison was a miserable place. Iron bars, stone walls, and cold floors. In the past few weeks, the guards had taken to casually tapping their batons against the bars when they passed by, making sleep impossible. He could not even escape in his dreams, as the tension he felt in the waking world began to bleed into his sleep as well. All this for pushing a policeman away? He'd regretted it at first. Now, though, perhaps he could say that every one of them deserved that and more. Perhaps an early release for good behavior can be arranged, pissed off petite bourgeoisie, movement less active, or we will not make exceptions because of some hooligans. Slightly more active Confucian Rights Movement, petite bourgeoisie happy. I'm going to do the second one. Getting extra good grace in the petite bourgeoisie is really nice. I've just remembered I've forgotten to, thinking about the fact that I have a Confucian Rights Movement, I've forgotten to reset production methods in the territories I've taken over. And that means I'm going to have some work to do. Gonna need a little infrastructure, and anywhere that doesn't have full market access, which seems to be everywhere except for Shandong. We've got ports, correct? We have the ability to supply this area. We sure do. Let's go ahead and build a port in Jiangsu, and then power plants. We have some, but not enough. Let's go ahead and subsidize the ones that are currently built already, just to make sure that they're running and doing their thing. And we'll circle back to that in a second. thought the railway might have been different for a minute. Maybe it was, and I'm simply unfamiliar. Alright, we got a hold of our war goal over here in British Congo. Johor, don't improve relations with me. I'm just helping you to mess with the Brits. I don't actually... This isn't really my bag. I'm just doing it to goof with Britain. Mexico stood up and I was like, you know what? I can have fun. France can have one more war with the British as a treat. Oh man, we are absolutely smashing our way through Britain. Are we causing big devastation? Yeah, we're causing some devastation. Wow! Infrastructure in the home counties is Robert borked. Taxation capacity is too. Holy crap, what is going on with Britain? Johnny, what are you doing? Johnny Bull, what are you doing? Are they... Oh, they got crazy high institutions. That's why. Their institutions are too high, and they don't have the capacity to manage them. That's very funny, though. So from here, with production methods having been reset to the greatest extent possible in this area, let's see how much capacity I need to get tax cap up to normal. So I'm going to get 15 tax cap from each. Oh, right. I need to swap these over to telephone switchboards, because these places are low in taxation capacity. Sensible. Or at least they should be. Population here is very, very high. So it shouldn't be a... I shouldn't be in a situation where if these states are at taxation capacity, really, if these states are not over taxation capacity, then China has done much, much better than they typically do. Oh my gosh, Shandong doesn't even have any government admin. That's brutal. Alright, we'll build 10 levels for now, and then we'll see how it goes. This is going to get us pretty extreme increases in tax revenue, I am hoping. France is protected, no other naval invasions happening anywhere that I care about. Great Britain is quickly falling in liberty desire. I don't have the ability to influence this. This is completely on Johor. But probably they'll go for everything. Particularly the one that matters to me is getting my transfer of British Congo. That's going to get me a better hold over Central Africa, and it's going to connect up my territories in here and divide Britain's territories between Cape Colony and British East Africa, and that is going to make my life a lot easier. Beautiful. They didn't go for the regime change one, but that's all right. Final devastation amount, 16%. Not bad. It's been worse. So this should be making our cash flow a ton better. Nice. Wonderful. So, now that we've had a few weeks, I'm going to give it one more week to change up the production methods over here. So, now that we've had a few weeks, how low are we in taxation capacity? We get 30 per level. We're short about 1,000. So, I'm going to build 30 levels in Suzhou. Nanjing, we're short. I'm going to build 20 levels. We're short not 1,000, but like 800. I don't know. A lot of times I overshoot when I'm building government admins. I think I'm just not so great at figuring out the throughput bonus. We're a little short on infrastructure here, so I'm going to throw in some railways, and then tax cap. We can probably do 10 levels, and that'll be enough to get us the 300 there. Obviously, we're going to potentially need to improve infrastructure. Yeah, we're going to need to improve infrastructure in Suzhou with all the government admin levels we're building, so I'll go ahead and queue that in. Northern Anhui, let me see, we need about, I think, 15 levels, and we're going to need some infrastructure to support that. And then finally, Shandong, we are still working on the infrastructure here. Taxation capacity, we're going to need a bunch. So, let's just go ahead and queue in 3 more levels of infrastructure. And then for government admin, I'm going to go ahead and build, I think, let's see, I'm going to build 30 levels, and we'll see what that gets us to. So this should be improving our cash flow significantly. Any other places while I'm... Oh my goodness. I was at high taxes the whole time. Oh, I'm so dumb! Well, this is going to improve standard of living significantly. Gosh. Standard of living has really fallen. How long ago did I do that? Oh man, I can't really tell. Well, this is going to raise standard of living. Oh, no wonder I got so many radicals. But we're gonna have radicalism rapidly falling. So Guyenne and Orléans-Berry both need slight increases in government admin size, unless they're not yet on telephone switchboards, which Guyenne was not. Orléans-Berry was not either. Beautiful. So they're in telephone switchboards. We'll all be happy together at the end of things. Cash flow is doing just fine. Tripolitania would like an increase in autonomy. That is unfortunate. So this is interesting. Relations are bad. We are in the process of improving them. I'm actually going to say yes. Because that's going to significantly drop their liberty desire. And that's going to buy me enough time to get them up to... Why did our relations go down? But I said yes. I'm going to give them knowledge sharing. My cash flow is still... My tech spread is still bananas, right? I'm doing a lot of knowledge sharing. Who am I knowledge sharing with? Let me look at my knowledge sharing. I'm knowledge sharing with Egypt, Ethiopia, Persia, Sokoto, and Tripolitania. I think I can leave... I think I can leave Egypt be. Egypt is a modern power. They're recognized. I can go ahead and stop knowledge sharing with them. And then Ethiopia. How are you doing tech-wise? Let's take a look. Standardized filing system's good to go. Lung camps, you've got sawmills, you've got focused hardwood production. You're still using standard irrigation. Where are you with textile mills? You got sewing machines. Ethiopia's doing alright. Ethiopia's doing pretty alright. So I'm gonna halt knowledge sharing to Ethiopia. No, I won't. I can live with 4. So we have a little revolt in Liberia. Nothing to worry about. Let's grab the army of West Africa and send them there to deal with it. And then we'll look into research, because boy howdy, have we got a research to do. So I've finished out mobile armor. I think I can finally take a little break from military to do a bit more in production. I do want automatic dough rollers. Ooh, I don't have art silk yet, so that's where I need to start. Oh no, I need plastics, and then we'll do nitrogen fixation. We'll finish out pneumatic tools afterward. Then we'll do nitrogen fixation, and then we'll do art silk, and that'll finish out the tier 4s in production, and then we'll go to compression, ignition, and oil turbine. And that's no. Well, no, I do need compression, ignition. Then we'll do dough rollers, then oil turbine. And that'll get us a really, really strong economic leg up. So, I've developed myself the ability to produce tanks by unlocking modern armor. So, from here, I think the first thing I do... Before I start upgrading units, I need to... Because I need to be a little careful about this. Because I need to get a good chunk of my automotive industry producing tanks. It's going to be Mananjou. This is going to get us... How many tanks is this going to get us? This is going to get us about 2,000 tanks. And as I do this, I am going to hit the Upgrade All Units button, and that is going to get our armies at least on mechanized infantry. Because we can't... For artillery, we need to manually upgrade. Alright, beautiful. So, upgrades have been achieved. What's the market for tanks looking like? Okay, we're massively overproducing, but that's not going to last long. There we go. Alright, demand is going up. Wonderful. Alright, very good. We are exporting some to the international market, which I'm just fine with, frankly. Right, 388k. How much are we converted over? We're mostly converted over. Okay, so we're still significantly overproducing. So let's go ahead and we'll start with the first French Expeditionary Force. Let's start building new armies. We're gonna need 60 battalions of heavy tanks, which we have plenty of capacity for. 65, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65. And then we'll do 20 battalions of light tanks. 5, 10, 15, 20. And then what we'll do is we'll get rid of all of our other stuff. I'm going to close out our conscription centers for siege artillery immediately, because we're not going to need them. Same with lancers. Now, third French expedition. I can count. Third French Expeditionary Force. We'll do 65 and 20 as well. So heavy tanks. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65. There's Liberian Pest Revolt. And then for light tanks, 10, 20, 30. 5, 10, 15, 20 is what I should have been saying, but I'm dumb, so I didn't do that. Second French Expeditionary Force. We're just going to do it the same way. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70. I guess we're doing 70. No, just kidding. Hold on. Hold on. I can do this. Shabamzo. And then for light tanks, we need 20. So 5, 10, 15, 20. That'll be fine. And this will lead to a massive spike in the price of tanks, which is fine because tanks are extremely cheap in our market. Let's go ahead and unpause and get that going here for a second. And then once it's finished... oh, I forgot to close out my conscription centers for my siege artillery. And my lancers, which I will, of course, do. Beautiful. Second French Expeditionary Force, same deal. Shabamzo. Liberia is damaging relations. Well, Liberia, how could you? I thought we were such good friends. Why are you so rebellious? Clout of political lobby interest groups in government. Well, that's a shame. I'm going to need to, fund lobbies. It's going to cost me hardly anything. Do I exempt them from service? I think yes. That's going to get their Liberty Desire going back down. How is my construction going? It's looking like those barracks are nearly completed. Let's take a quick look at the taxation capacity in China and see if I've gotten myself to a point where I can function. Yes, in fact, I'm way over in Shuzhou. I always do this. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just I'm terrible at math or... Alright, well, let's drop some of these off. Still way over. There we go. That's at least closer. 3 more. Alright, that's fine. Now over here, I'm over by a bit. That's fine. That's close enough. Jiangsu, over by a bit. There we go. Close enough. Northern Anhui, I'm over by a bunch again. Which dropped down to a nice even 25. That'll give me a little bit of a buffer. And then Shandong, taxation capacity, I've way overshot it. There we go. Much better. I don't know why this always happens. I mean, I know it's because I'm flubbing the math, but you know, that's not necessarily a problem. So now with our new barracks built, I'm going to close out my siege artillery in these other armies and the lancers as well. And what that's going to do is that's going to hopefully flood the heavy and light tank buildings with available labor. If I've done it right, which I hope I have, and if not, it's not a tragedy. Let's go ahead and normalize the size of these armies. First French Expeditionary Force, I'm going to throw in, I think, 5 more heavy tanks and 7 more units of mechanized infantry. Then 3rd French Expeditionary Force, 2 more units of light infantry, 5 more units of heavy tanks, and then finally the 2nd French Expeditionary Force, going to do 20 more levels of mechanized infantry and 5 more levels of heavy tanks. And then we'll all be in really good stead. So, the armies of southern France. Yeah, I think I can increase these. Oh, before we do this, though, let's go ahead and increase conscription by a bit. I think I'm going to do basically the same pattern for conscription. So there's 100 units of mechanized infantry. This one will do... What are we at now? 87, so we'll do 1, 2, 3, and then 10. It's going to get us up to 100. And that will be really nice. And then we'll do, I think, the same thing for heavy tanks and light tanks. We'll do like 50 levels of heavy tanks and 20 of light tanks. So, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. For light tanks, I think I ran over my capacity there. 3rd French Expeditionary Force, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Ooh, we're actually getting close to our capacity here, but that's okay. And then 20, and then for the 2nd French Expeditionary Force, we're just going to kind of catch as catch can for this one. So there's 15, 18, 23, 34, 45, and 5. So that's... Oh, I miscounted by 1. That's okay. And then for light tanks, let me see. Here's 11. Here's 9. I miscounted again. Wonderful. Alright, so the armies of southern France and northern France we are going to need to work on. So let me see. Siege artillery and... heavy tanks and light tanks, we're going to need 30 and 10. So, this is the army of southern France. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And for light tanks, we'll do... Let's actually do 15. Army of northern France will do the same thing. And then for light tanks, 5, 10, 15. And that'll be fine. Now, and of course, as before, we will close out our conscript artillery. And our conscript traditional cavalry, because we do not need them any longer. Delicious water. Gotta stay hydrated. And these armies, because they're defensive armies, are overwhelmingly in infantry, and I think that's basically fine. I'm just going to throw in a little bit more conscript artillery. Just increase my kill rates, I think. And we'll do this. Oh, these are lancers. These are lancers. No, I didn't want that. I wanted heavy tanks. Okay, I'm so good at stuff. Please tell me I didn't put a bunch of conscript artillery in these other armies. I did not. I did not. Second French Expeditionary Force seems chronically to be having a hard time hiring, but that's alright. I put these fellows in northern France, so I'm actually going to close them out again. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And then for light tanks, 5, 10, 15. And then the army of northern France is going to be there. 5, 10, 15, 25, 30. And 5, 10, 15. Alright, and now I'll close out these inferior production method artillery setups and cavalry setups, and then we'll have a modern army. Oh, look at all that prestige. Yeah, so look at the amount we're getting from army power projection here. That's the power of building a modern army. Oh my goodness. Incredible. So, how much more episode have we got? Oh, not much more. I've, of course, got a crazy amount of governance capacity right now, such that I could, say, incorporate this territory, but I'm not going to. Still a little bit short on infrastructure here in some of these areas, which is a little bit of a shock. Unless these railways are not subsidized, but they are. They're trying to hire and not being able to. Because of the price of goods, perhaps? I'm not sure. There's plenty of labor available. Lots of unemployed people. Actually, before I do this, no, these ones do need to be increased. These ones are subsidized and running, and infrastructure is good. Infrastructure is not good over here in Nanjing, but they are trying to hire. Alright, so I don't need to increase that one. And then here, I seem to have outrun taxation capacity again, so I'm just going to build 3 government sectors. Alright, so how do I deal with this? No resources here worth mentioning. Oh my god, there's an arts academy here, a gigantic one. Yeah, I think everything's going to be dependent on this this railway successfully hiring and getting employed so that they can provide access. And I think that's just the only way this problem gets solved. We got some sulfur mines. We got some coal mines here. Let's build a bit more rail capacity, and then we'll build up these coal mines. And what that's going to do is hopefully provide a decent coal supply to this region that I can then subsequently use for all of the trains in that whole area. I'm paying the price for my high infantry. Let's take a look at our subjects. We'll go by subject type. I've got... That's right. I've got French Congo, which I need to start improving relations with. Ashanti's Liberty Desire is going up, unfortunately. They'll be doing better when... Han National Movement. Interesting. Well, I guess this is going to become a revolutionary movement, and that is simply what I'm going to have to do to deal with the problems in China. I'm not going to lose all of China, so I should be able to send an army over there to deal with the problem without having myself a gigantic snare, a hairball, if you will. So yeah, I think we're just going to have to live with that as it is. Because there's not much else we can do. Wow, with back at moderate taxation, my cash flow, my consumption taxes are like an even bigger part of my economy, which is crazy. Standard of living has started to trend back upward, which is good. And GDP still continues to be well above $1 billion. So I'm feeling very... Oh, they decided not. It died back down. It sorted itself out. Excellent. Jahan's standard of living is very low compared to the rest of the country, but, you know, we're working to fix that. We're in a big market. We're building up stuff. No, it didn't take care of itself. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know there's a separatist movement. It is what it is, me lads. I'm just going to build up as much as I can so that there's a little bit of... Excuse me. Autonomous downsizing? Don't autonomously size down. You're the government. You're not supposed to do that. I'm supposed to size down the government. I'm the one who downsizes government. Well, anyway, we'll see. You know, part of this is, it's just the low market access here. They don't have access to all the things they should have access to because of the railways not being big enough. There's not enough rail. In fact, I'm going to build even more. Oh my goodness, these are on experimental trains. I had no idea. Do a real train, sir. That's right, because these places didn't have power when I first normalized. Oh my goodness, I'm such a goof! In fact, instead of doing this, let's grab the reset production methods action and reset all these places. Now that there's power in all these locations, and the power plants are running, let me make sure there's a sufficiency of power. There is in Suzhou. There is not in Nanjing. Build that up and subsidize it. Jiangsu needs 2 more levels and for its power plants to be subsidized. Northern Anhui is doing just fine with power plants. They are currently subsidized, which is just fine. Shandong needs 1 more level of power in addition to the ones that are already there, and for those to be subsidized. Alright. And that should get them the market access they need, hopefully. Yes, now we have full market access. Alright, now we're going to start improving standards of living over there, I tell you what. So, with those states now having full market access, and they're trying to revolt, but again, it simply is what it is. I will simply tolerate it. For the sake of peace in the realm, I will tolerate it. Piedmontian attitude worsened. Why did I give myself all this infamy like a fool? Ah, they're fine. No liberty desire, no problem. Come on. Hey, plastics. Wonderful. So that's going to be good. I think plastics is pretty much universally a benefit for my glassworks. Yeah, there we go. Give me all that glass. So, I will probably... Actually, I'm going to go ahead and subvene glass. That's an industrial good? Sure is. Buy my glass. I've got so much of it. Buy it. Buy it. It's going to move. Alright, so with this, before we close out, I'm just going to do a quick check of the impact to our market of fully incorporating these new territories. Sort my market price once again. Engines continue to be expensive. That's good. Motors, rather. Steel is expensive. Okay, so we'll need to produce more steel. Silk, we're still bringing in a lot from abroad, but we can produce even more over here. Northern Anhui is still struggling with market access, but they're about to have more railways, so that's fine. Iron is a little bit pricey. We could use a bit more of that. Ditto lead. And we're building up some coal mines, although I guess I don't need to now. Alright, so things are looking good in the market. We won our war against Britain. We got a hold of the British Congo. Only a couple more states to steal from Britain, and then we'll be good to go. But that is all for this episode, my nerds. I have had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you on the other side.